All right, let's talk sales. If your go-to move is just drowning your prospects in data and feature lists, well, you might be losing deals without even knowing why. Today, we're going to unpack a way more powerful tool, stories. We'll dig into how you can craft narratives that actually connect, persuade, and ultimately sell. Let's get right into it.
Just think about your own day-to-day conversations for a second. How much of your time is spent just sharing experiences, telling little anecdotes? Turns out, research shows a whopping 65% of our daily communication is storytelling. It's not some slick sales tactic, it's just how we're hardwired to connect with each other.
So that brings up a really big question, right? If we are all natural-born storytellers, why do so many of us in the business world just throw that instinct out the window? Why do we immediately default to spreadsheets and boring data points the second we need to sell something?
Let's unpack that. First up, let's talk about why storytelling is basically your secret weapon in sales.
So what do we even mean by storytelling when we're talking about sales? It's pretty simple, actually. It's using a narrative, a series of connected events to influence a sales conversation. It's all about showing the benefits of what you offer, not just listing them off a slide.
Okay, so why is it that a good story will consistently outsell a pile of raw data? The answer isn't in some marketing textbook. It's actually rooted in our own biology. There are 3 huge benefits to using stories. First, they make you memorable in what is often a super crowded market. Second, they can literally increase the perceived value of what you're selling. And third, and this one is maybe the most important, they build trust.
Let's really focus on that third point. Trust, because there's real science at play here. When you tell a compelling story, your listener's brain releases oxytocin. You might have heard of it. It's often called the trust hormone because it's fundamental to how we form social bonds. A story is basically a powerful biological shortcut to building genuine rapport.
Okay, so we know why stories work, but what actually makes a great sales story? In this section, we're going to break down the essential components that every single effective story needs to have.
Every great story, whether it's a blockbuster movie or a chat in a boardroom, needs these 4 things. You need a hero, a specific conflict they're up against, a villain, which in business can be something like downtime or regulations or a tough competitor, and then, of course, a resolution.
Now here's the absolute game changer. Who is the hero of your story? In the old way of pitching, the hero was always your product or your company. The single biggest shift you can make is to realize the hero is and must always be your customer. Your solution? That's just the tool that helps them win the day.
All right, let's get super practical. I'm going to give you a simple 4-step story framework you can literally start using today.
And here it is. 4 simple steps: context, challenge, response, and result. Just think of this as your new roadmap. Let's break down each one, piece by piece.
First up, context. You've got to set the scene. Just a simple sentence to establish the when, the where, and the who. Something like, last quarter, I was talking with Janet, the CIO over at Acme Corp. Bam! That immediately makes your story feel real and credible.
Step 2 is the challenge. And honestly, this is the heart of your story. You have to describe the problem, the struggle, and really make it clear what was at stake for the hero, your customer. This is where you build the tension and make the problem feel urgent and relatable.
Next up, the response. How did the hero, with your help of course, start to fight back against that challenge? The key here is to keep it focused. Just 1 or 2 really pivotal actions to turn things around. Don't list every single thing you did, just the crucial moves.
And finally, the result. This is your happily ever after. How did things change? You want to show a clear transformation. If the hero is totally overwhelmed, now they're in control. If they were losing money, now they're profitable. Make it a clear before and after.
So where does all that data fit in? Right here, at the very end. After you've made that emotional connection with the story, you land the logical punch with a powerful metric. Something punchy like, and as a result, they increase deals closed by 39%. See? The number doesn't tell the story, it just proves the story is true.
Okay, you've got the framework, but how do you take a good story and make it truly great? The kind of story people remember and repeat to their colleagues? In our final section, we'll cover 3 pro tips to make your story really stick.
To make your story totally unforgettable, you need to weave in these 3 key elements. First, surprise, an unexpected twist that grabs their attention. Second, emotion.
Find that human element that connects on a much deeper level. And third, visual moments. Use language that paints a really clear picture in your listener's mind.
And why is emotion so critical? Well, because according to Harvard Business School, 95% of our purchasing decisions are subconscious. And guess what the biggest driver of those subconscious decisions is? Emotion. You have to make your buyer feel something.
This all leads to this cool idea called transport. A truly great story makes the listener feel like they are actually in the story. Their brain literally can't tell the difference between a vividly told story and a real experience. They get to feel the relief of solving the problem before they've even bought anything from you.
So where do you start? The best stories are usually hiding in plain sight. Just look at your own experiences, or think about the challenges your best customers have overcome. Your next great story is waiting right there. So, what's it going to be?